Welcome to Life by Design. On the last edition of the show, we brought to you Sierra Leone's first ever movie director for Africa. We win the Zafa and BAFTA awards in the United Kingdom, Pastor Momo, and in team, we na the Ushers movie production team, bringing big accolades and laurels to the country and pride for every Sierra Leonean. Waiting on the line we showed last week, the last edition, was that it doesn't take a university degree, a PhD, or whatever, or being a chartered accountant or lawyer for be successful in life. People get intelligence way if they discover their intelligence and natural talents, and they then able for succeed equally like people and we get big degree and big education in life. What a lesson that was. But on today's show, we want to talk about teamwork. A major ingredient for success in our life, now we ability for able for work together with other people in a team for help we achieve we own goals. Now, whether you talk about football, you talk about government, or even the office, or in families, it takes a set of people coming together, all working in the same direction for one purpose, for able to achieve anything meaningful in our life. This week, I had the privilege to talk to members of the Njala University College Society for Academic Advancement on the topic Building Indestructible Teams. And on today, on Life by Design, we want to bring you highlights of that presentation, the way we've been doing, and hopefully, it's going to help you a lot. I'm Joe Abbas Bangoa, and this is Life by Design.
A Call to Business is delighted to introduce C2B Print and Publishing Limited, situated at 20 Old Railway Line, Brookfields. C2B Print and Publishing is an arm of a Call to Business group of companies with headquarters in London. At C2B Print and Publishing, we deliver the highest quality printing you can find at very competitive prices. Our staff and professional operators have a combined experience exceeding 15 years in the industry with local and international expertise. C2B Print and Publishing offers prompt services with a top quality Heidelberg presses, which are of precision German engineering. Contact us now for your full color printing of magazines, posters and flyers, corporate identity stationery, brochures, annual reports, calendars, etc. Call us today on 030-999-911 or 088-999-933. C2B Print and Publishing. We meet all your printing needs with a touch of class and excellence.
I've told a lot of stories. Even though I'm a chartered accountant, I find myself increasingly putting on the hat of an entrepreneur, building businesses rather than doing bookkeeping and double entry. I have told the story about Bill Gates, the story about Google, the Google story, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the guys who came up with Google. Google is one of the richest, the biggest companies in the world, richest and biggest. They got the idea to build Google in school, and it was a university professor. Google was a project that a university professor worked with them, research, provide the supervision for them to research, and came up with what is a multi-billion-dollar company all over the world. Research from university. Whether you go to the Facebook guys, Mark Zuckerberg started working on Facebook in university, supervised by a professor. An interesting thing about the Google story was the fact that the professor who supervised the project got a percentage of shares in Google when it was just less than $1 million. He got shares in Google, and the shares were bought over by the university because the professor was serving on at the university. So it was actually the university that they gave the shares to. And when Facebook got big, these shares, which were nothing, they end up selling those shares for over $300 million. $300 million for the support a university professor gave to young guys who could see the future before anyone saw it, who could see what could happen and the possibilities, create things out of there that could provide services for the world, change the way we look at the world, and make money for the university for it to be sustainable. So when Dr. Sharman shared the fact that what you're now moving into is to divide people up into research groups, practical research groups, not releasing papers that will end up in university libraries. Practical research. I have personally advocated that no students should be allowed to leave university without a project. Without a project. If students go to university and the first year they go there, they are taught whatever disciplines they are learning, not only to use it to be employed, but how to use it to create a job if they are not employed. If every student does that, and by the time they get to the fourth or fifth year in university, they walk out prepared not only in their head with facts and data, but they are able to use that as a tool to create employment in the country. And so this is how I see research ending up, practical research, valuable research that will not end up in the library in university, but end up in something that can be used to provide solutions to the problems that are ailing us in the country. I said to a university student the other day, engineering students, you know, the guys in the fishermen at Lumley Beach, they would be there and pulling, you know, the chain, and it takes an hour and a half, 2 hours to do it under hot burning sun and sweating. I said, can you come up with a technology that will pull that thing with the same pace that is required scientifically to make sure you still get the fish in there, but an engineering works that you could put 2 gallons of fuel in, and in a space of 10-15 minutes, can you pull that in? A student must not rest until we are able to look at those things and say, this ought not to be so. I think this is what university education ought to be, and I think this is what Europe and America, the university education there is like, because they are at the leading edge of providing solutions for society. Every one of those solutions are university researched. And it's a joy for us to know that in Sierra Leone, Njala University is moving along that direction. Now, let's talk about teamwork. I like talking about teamwork. Nobody runs a business. Nobody runs a business if they are not good at building teams. And as you've heard from the brief introduction, I have been able to build 5 businesses over the last 4 years. 5 businesses. The latest is a software development business, which it could end up being the biggest for the businesses. So building, I call this indestructible teams. Building, how do you build indestructible teams? This is the definition I want to start off with. A team is defined as a group of people linked in a common purpose. This guy, an expert, Naresh Jain, Indian expert, says a group does not necessarily constitute a team. A group is different from a team. A group is different from a team. The group does not necessarily constitute a team. Teams normally have members, and there are several phrases here, complementary skills. They have members with complementary skills. And what complementary means is you have what I don't have, you know what I don't know, and we complement each other. You step in and cover up my weakness, maximize your own strength, and you do the same for me, vice versa. So this is what it is. This is what teamwork is all about. Teams normally have members with complementary skills, generate synergy through a coordinated effort, which allows each member to maximize their strength and minimize their weakness. That's Naresh Jain deciding. Now, for you to be able to, you know, I wish I'd been able to understand Njala University and the direction you're going, and all the big aspirations you have for this university, so that it should get to a point in time where people should stop crying down our university education, and maybe Njala could cause that to happen, to make sure we change the narrative, the description that people have given to education in Sierra Leone. And it's possible. It's possible. Now, an important phrase I'm introducing in your sentence is that great teams are the product of great individuals. Great teams are the product of great individuals. It takes team. Nothing, you can't achieve anything outside yourself without teamwork. Whether it's a family, down, you know, rudimentary, just take it down to your family. Unless there is a shared purpose in the family where the husband, the wife, the kids, everyone has a role to play. What the father does, the mom cannot do. What the mom does, the father cannot do. What the kids do, it will be uncomfortable and inconvenient for the parents to do. But all of them pulling together to make sure you have a happy home. Every great team is a product of great individuals. A great university is the product of great faculty people. Great faculty. Individually great. And it's those greatness put together that makes a great organization, that makes a great team. Individually. Each time, like they've now released the report about the Auditor General's report and everything, each time I look at the issues of Sierra Leone, unless you can reduce it down to 1%, then it doesn't matter to you. If you could reduce all that is happening in the country, you say, but how does that apply to me? What can I do as an individual to change what is happening in my country? To change university education, Njala University, to just make this place again a record in the country. What can I do as an individual? Because when you reduce it to that level, you now realize that, yes, it's individuals. It's great individuals that make great teams. And one of the things that stand in the way of teamwork being successful is the issue of people being excessively focusing on self. Some people call it me, myself, and I. And this is natural. It's called the first law of preservation. What's the first law of preservation? It says self. If I don't take care of myself, no one else will. It's the first law of preservation. And there's so much truth in it. That's the basis for life. That's where all of us start off with. But unfortunately, some sadly never graduate from this level. It's all about ourselves. A kid grows, when a child is born, what happens to a child? When a child is born, it's all about the child. It's all about itself. Now, if it's hungry, it cries and gets everybody to stop whatever they are doing. A child grows with that thing possessing everything, wanting to possess everything in life. And some people never grow out of childhood. Everything is about themselves. If you have excessive self people working together, you can never have a group. Where it's everybody for themselves, God for everybody, you can never have a solid group. So this is where you have, one of the barriers to having indestructible teams. Say indestructible. Indestructible teams. So can you build an indestructible team in Njala? In all of these research teams that you're sending, how do you build indestructible teams? How do you build indestructible? I love football. I watch Jose Mourinho. He is a tactician. He moves players there. He sees the whole canvas. He knows this man is stronger there. He moves them over here. He moves this out there. He switches them. One player was out for 2 weeks. He switched one from the back, brought in Didier Drogba. Because when you have a team like that works with each other, everybody's working, everybody's synchronizing, there's a lot that is always achieved. But self-preservation is one of the things that holds back. Take this down. Success in life is 80% psychology, mindset, beliefs, convictions. If you are convinced that we're able to transform education in the country, that conviction alone never lets you rest. You can sleep and wake up every night and be thinking about your convictions. So convictions is powerful. But what is it that drives convictions? And I want to paint a picture of greatness. Greatness. The people who have made Njala University what it is, I'm sure you'll have names. Names of people who stood out. Along the long history of Njala, people who just stood out in terms of their selflessness, in terms of what they did to make this university great. Anybody want to mention names that you know? I don't know much about the history of Njala. I wish I'd read that a little. Rashid Noah, Professor Rhodes, Professor Mature, Professor Algali. Why is it, it's not Professor Monty Jones, now why is it that in a swathe of hundreds, maybe 10s, 60s, could it be up to 100 since the founding of Njala? Not professors, so faculty members. Would it be more than 100? Would it be more than 100? Now you'd have a lot of professors, but what is it that makes people stand out? You know, I want to leave a picture in your mind whilst I go back to Freetown. Leave a picture in your mind, which is a picture that has been stamped in my heart indelibly and that's changed my life forever. And which I've just found out that this is what makes great men. If I can get you all to begin to think great, then teamwork is going to be easy. Because unless you conquer the self, the wanting to just be there for people to just say it's you, we cannot be great.
The history of the struggle is rich with the stories of heroes and heroines. Some of them leaders, some of them followers. All of them deserve to be remembered. Born to a family of illiterate parents and struggled all my life. I remember the days I went to school without lunch several times. I had to walk back from school, a more than 7-mile journey. After school, I would join my parents, my mother who was selling cooking ingredients in the market. Failed my O-levels, I dropped out of school. Then I met with a mentor who made me realize that if you make new and better choices, you could transform your life. Went back to school, took my O-level exams, and had a scholarship to go to the United States of America to study leadership and entrepreneurship. I am back, managing director for 4 businesses, helping young people. In the program I do on television, Life by Design, is to give people hope and tell young men the story of the African child is the same. From nothing, we can be something.
And for those who don't know my story, I give you the 2 minutes version. I was born to illiterate parents, like some of us would have been. I sat to my O-levels at the Albert Academy, and I failed my O-levels. I stayed at Wellington, and sometimes I had to walk a 7-mile journey back from Albert Academy to Wellington because I couldn't pay my way back home. I can't begin to paint all the horrible things that happened to me whilst I was in school. I had to put on plastic sandals in school at the Albert Academy in Freetown, when you have Lebanese kids, with cars driving to school and back. And I was there, humiliated every day in my life. So just be there in their presence. I sat to my O-levels, I failed my O-levels, 2 7s, 2 8s, 3 9s. That's what I have, 57 aggregate, if you want to aggregate that. And, my first job was at the Sierra Leone Police Marketing Board, SLPMB. I worked as a laborer. What we did was to offload sacks of palm kernel from the back of trucks that used to come from Njala and places like Bo, wherever palm kernels were coming from to go to Freetown, we were the ones offloading them. Age 17, my first job. Moved to the Auditor General's department, and then, I started working there as a clerk. My first salary was 300 leons a month, February 1987. 300 leons a month. But I've discovered the secret of greatness. I met a pastor who became a mentor, and right through our journey, he made me realize that I could change my life with my choices. It's not just that my parents were illiterate, and that's why I'd end up here. I say, yes, okay, that may have played a role. But if I begin to make new and better choices, I can transform my life. If I begin to make new and better choices, I can transform my life. It was Winston Churchill that said, he said, greatness is a choice. The price of greatness is responsibility. Greatness is a choice. Now, why am I saying this? What has greatness got to do with team? Please give me a moment. If I build for you an affinity and wanting to be great, not just for being great so that Sierra Leone would know, but be somebody that 10 years from now, when they are calling names of people who are outstanding here, they would mention your name. There are some characteristics that are common with great people. Whether you're talking about Nelson Mandela, you're talking about Professor Monty Jones, Professor Algali, all of the professors been here. There's something characteristic about it. And I'll give you 3 of them. Number 1, he says greatness requires something more. Not just struggling about self, but a desire to make meaning and alter the future. We do it all the time in business. We alter the future. Can somebody alter the future? Sometimes people are so helpless. How the year? Well, we don't know what in the year they bring. New month starts. Well, the calendar, it depends on waiting they happen today. Well, we don't know. It depends on waiting the month they bring. People are so helpless. But great men alter the future. You know what you're trying to do here? It's pioneering something that never existed before. Am I right? You are pioneering something. What you're trying to do, you are altering the future. 5 years from now, you want the story to change. You want the narrative to change. And so people are sitting here this morning, spending time together. How do we change the future? How don't we just wait for the future to arrive and say the future has arrived and we don't like it? You can forecast the future. If we stay 5 years from now, this is what is going to happen. The university will run out of funds. We will not be able to have money to take care of and build and the growth and all the things we have to do. And we don't want that future. So what are we doing now? We are altering the future. Does somebody understand what I'm saying? Great people alter the future. They alter. They alter. They have a strong desire to make meaning and alter the future. Just change the future completely. I wake up every day in my life and I can't tell you the number of things I know I do. And 2 years from now, my future would never be the same because of something I do today. Don't wait for the future to arrive and say, hey, Anoleka, alter it, forecast it. This is not what we like, we're altering. That's what we're doing this morning. That's what we're spending these 3 days together, talking, chatting, sharing. We want to alter the future. This is a mark of great people. Secondly, great people contribute to life beyond what they are paid to do. You know, sometimes people walk into the class, well, you know, man for getting salary. So if man no can, man no getting salary. So how for the way, not there for the let man just can't man out the class. And you will see how this is connected with teamwork very soon. It's great individuals, great at heart, wanting to change the future, wanting to contribute to life much more than what you are paid for your salary. If everybody just does what they are paid for, everybody's normal. The one who does beyond what they are paid for is the one that becomes extraordinary. Am I talking to somebody? The one who does beyond what you're paid for. If we all work for 2 hours, then pay for 2 hours, we work for 2 hours, normal. Case not day, I work for 2 hours, I pay me for 2 hours. Everybody go back in the house, flab another day. But if I can do beyond what I am paid for, that's where extraordinary people emerge. Extraordinary people emerge. Beyond, over and beyond what you're paid for. It's a mark of greatness. Look at the third characteristics. Great people commit yourself to a cause that is bigger than the needs of your life. Committing yourself to a cause that is bigger. Most times people, it's just me, myself, and I and my family. If I the benefit for my, okay. If I know the benefit for her, okay, when I go to join una later. Great men commit themselves to a cause that is bigger than their needs. Bigger. Great men. And when I'm telling you this, it's not something I share in theory. I'm not sharing it in theory. I'm sharing it because I practically live all of these values every day and I see the results. I live them every day and I see the results. 60-70% of what I do no longer has anything to do about me, but contribute to something that is bigger than me. So the tipping point in the life of every great man is where they move from self-seeking to what? You may see this coming very closer to teamwork. Unless you have people who are ready to be selfless, you don't have teams. All you have is talented people in a group. And each one for showing skill, each one for showing sabi. We've seen some Nations Cup tournaments in the past where, whether it was Ghana, they had talented people, professors, PhDs, masters. You get me book, I get myself your own book. Keep your own, myself keep me own. And everybody wants to outcompete the other. Because basically when it comes down to it, it's all about themselves. Sometimes people don't tell you, they don't talk. but they know it's you know, ultimately when it gets right to the, it's really about me. It's not about the team. No, it's about me and how I feel and how I get to benefit at the end of the day. So, but a tipping point in every great man came to the point where life was no longer about them. They moved from self-seeking to selflessness. There's what is called the fundamental state of leadership theory. Fundamental state of leadership theory. The fundamental state of leadership theory is by Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn was an author, great business author. He says, when a leader operates in the fundamental state of leadership theory, he says, the leader operates in a state of mind where he cares so much about achieving the corporate mission that he suppresses his personal ego because the cause cannot afford his pride. Now, one of the things I know, I have a lot of friends who are academics. And so, in fact, when they look at us as professionals, there are some, academics who will think, professionals will not even learn book. Am I talking to somebody? So they will look at you, an accountant, but by the time you put the wig and you put the 2, 3, 1 them, the non-go at the back, this goes so and this goes so, they're changed. And they actually look at you as if you not even learn book. there's a fundamental state of leadership theory which goes into building indestructible teams where, one point, every member in the team is a leader. Every member in the team is committed. He's a leader. Every member. That's why I say I'm drilling it down. It's not the professor. It's not Dr. Sharman. It's not Professor Cisse. It's none of them. It's you living all of these virtues. Because I said a great team is the product of what? Great individuals. When all of us inculcate these values, it's not just, okay, I'm a leader and I get a responsibility there, now in it for one. No, when every member of the team goes into operation with this mindset, it changes the approach. People are no longer fighting to protect their ego, to defend their ego. I can't tell you the number of institutions that have been wrecked because people want to protect and defend their egos. I will show you, say, a land book pass you. I will show you, say, a come now. So before you, if not that, let all team well. It's about ego. It's about ego. It's about ego. And you know, in an academic environment like this, it's one of the biggest temptations. It's one of the biggest temptations. Because it's prestigious to have achieved what you have achieved. It's so prestigious to be called the doctor, to have double doctorate. It's prestigious. Now there's a temptation for you to put that above the team. To put your ego, there's a temptation. It's big. I don't say it's a reality, it's a temptation. It's a temptation. So, but the guy says, this fundamental state of leadership is what prepares the foundation for you to have indestructible teams. Where the leader suppresses his personal ego. Suppresses his personal ego because the cause cannot afford his pride.
Welcome back. I hope you benefited a lot from highlights of the lecture I gave at Njala University College, the Society for Academic Advancement, on how to build indestructible teams. Now, an attempt for bring you with Ebola update for this week. We will bring you comparative figures from the 1st to 18th February compared to the 1st to 18th January last month, and compare and see how much movement don't take place. By this time last month, when I be 18 January, the total number of people and we been on get is sick, new cases in the country, now been 439. But by the time we this broadcast they can to you, so 18th February, now only 189 people don't get the sick, which means say we don't reduce by 250, when at 57%, more than half. Now in the number of new cases don't drop by. Western area have been 216 by this time last month, now na 90. Putloko na been 90, now na 61. Bombali na been 13, now na 5. Cambia na been 27, now na 19. Kono na been 38, and now na 6. If you put all that together, the number of new cases in the country reduced by 250, when na 57%. We want to continue for urge all Sierra Leoneans, as we keep saying, this war not done yet. The end day in sight, but it's not yet over. Let's continue to fight on. Let's continue to do all the things that we didn't tell we're supposed to do. Not begin shake hand. Not begin do the things that we go compromise anybody in health. We are able to win this battle, and we are almost there in winning it. We want for hearing from you. Go on our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/LBD, and like the page and post your comments in there. You want to send we email address now info@livebydesign.sl, livebydesign.sl, info@livebydesign.sl. You can also go to YouTube. We have a lot of videos there we don't post already for make you able to see. Watch them, download them, and you can watch them at your own convenience. If you want to forget we by phone, by text, we number na 030-600-600. Make a close with a saying we underpin we program today. Great achievements are the product of great teams. But great teams is also the product of great individuals. On behalf of our sponsors, AfriCell, A Call to Business, the Ministry of Youth Affairs, and the National Youth Commission, stay blessed.